Agenda. All right, Senator Saidu, motion to approve the agenda. Are there any seconds or objections to the approval of the agenda?
Second.
All right, hearing a second from Senator Huerta. I'm not hearing any objections, so we'll move forward with the agenda as is. It will be approved. So with that said, to our Dean of Students, Dean Aska, as per usual, thank you for coming in and spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. We always appreciate it. So if you would like to give us your update, and then we'll move into questions as per usual. Thank you so much for being here.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. As always, it is my pleasure to join you. I speak with some of my colleagues around the country, and I was just on a call with some of them, and I was saying, nope, I have to get off. I'm meeting with my student government leaders and with the senators. They're like, you meet with them? I'm like, yes, don't you all? So this may be unique in some spaces, but in other spaces it's normal. I'm glad it's normal in our space. So I am just very much looking forward to seeing you all in person, in the future, hopefully sooner than later, but certainly with the transition for those of you who are not graduating in mode 1, hopefully in the fall. So I don't have too many updates. I think the biggest one is I did want to follow up. I believe it was Senator Mansfield who had asked this question when we were on 2 weeks ago about spring break and understanding the impact that this has on students' well-being. And, it's two-part. It's one, hoping and having had that information early enough, it does allow students to think critically about what works best for them as an individual student that makes sense for their well-being and, putting those resources and or strategies together for them. But certainly there is something that I think we are all collectively doing as a community in order to support students. And one of the things I sent out to Senate President Hostel right before our meeting today is a flyer that outlines 21 ways to take a break, which is something that was done by our Sun Devil Fitness Center team for wellness that highlights a whole host of different types of activities that really focuses on students and some of the things that they can do in order to relax, recharge, and re-engage. For some of you, you may really like this, just in case, I don't know, Senate President Hostel, how quickly you'll be able to get that out, but there is a pause tomorrow on March 4th from 3:30, on Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30. So for those of you who likes dogs, there will be some on the SDFC lawn for you to be able to participate in. But there's a whole host of things, so you'll get that flyer. Please share that with your constituents. Also garner, as always, feedback about that. Simultaneously, COVID, we're still monitoring COVID. Thankfully, our numbers are not high. So I hope you all are looking at the COVID management strategy information and all of the updates, and that you're sharing with your constituents and thanking your constituents for continuing to abide by our community of care guidelines. That continues to be important. We know and understand, even though more and more people will be vaccinated, that doesn't mean we stop our strategies. As a matter of fact, also to you all's collective concern, as we come to understand more of who's going to be able to get the vaccine based on whatever the federal guidelines are for that, the CDC guidelines, that we are doing that education, which I think several of you may be involved in or having conversations about with regards to educating people about the vaccine. We have a new link on the website. Again, that was constructive feedback that you all provided, providing education so that people can be informed about the vaccine and they could make their own personal decisions. But I encourage you to encourage others, if they're given the opportunity, to seriously consider that and to utilize the vaccine. But there is no rollout yet for students. Again, I think we're a couple of months away from that, but we do certainly know that that's top of mind for you all as students and on behalf of your constituents as well. Also know what's top of mind is commencement. We don't have a final answer. I think every meeting I go to, which is completely understandable because it's such a significant part of you all's undergraduate and graduate experience for that matter, but certainly undergrads who, we serve a large first generation population here at the university. A lot of students, they're the first to go. And so this is not only something that is important for them, but also significantly important for their families. So we get that. And so as soon as those decisions are finalized based on how everything is being monitored, that you all will know that. But know that we know how important this is to so many individuals on so many levels. I think those were the bigger updates that I had for you all today. I certainly came prepared with 2 questions as well, but want to hear what questions you all may have first.
All right, so senators, if you want to raise your hands and I will make a speaking order for you guys to ask questions. So far, I have Senator Lopez and Senator Vogel, but obviously if you guys think of any questions, feel free to raise your hand, even if they're not raised now. So Senator Lopez, since you raised your hand first, you have the floor first, and you are more than welcome to ask your question.
Yeah, so regarding classes in the fall, are we still doing like ASU Sync, like how it is currently implemented? Because that's what I thought what was happening from what Michael Crow was saying on his recent like town hall, that ASU Sync was still going to be available despite like your ability to go in person. But it seems like a lot of students I know think that ASU Sync is no longer being offered as of the fall semester.
So the plan is to have all classes in person. There will be exceptions to that, primarily right now based on the class size, where ASU Sync will be offered in those spaces as exceptions. The plan is not to have all 3 modalities in the same full way that it is right now. Now we will pivot. The fact that we have the technology, we can do that. And so that's important for us to know depending on what happens with the pandemic. But the intent is for us to go to mode 1 where all the classes will be in person. Knowing ahead of time now there will be some exceptions, and colleges are making those decisions now.
Awesome, thank you. And then Senator Vogel, and then I have Senator Onbar, and then anyone else who has a question. So Senator Vogel, you have the floor to ask your question.
Cool. Okay, so hi, Dinaska. Thanks for being here. I just wanted to ask you, excuse me, about the level at which the Vista del Sol Community Center is currently operating. I know it's a common thought among many of my constituents that it doesn't entirely make sense to us with the maintained cost of living at Vista, that there are less amenities available to us as residents, especially seeing as gym and pool spaces are open at the SDFC, masks aren't enforced on the fields where volleyball courts and other sports are played, and ping pong tables and pool tables are open for use at spaces like the Memorial Union. And then the main reason I actually kind of bring this up, though, has to do with the fact that Michael Crow said that ASU was operating at like 100% capacity at our meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago. And that's not the case for us here at Vista.
Sure. So, and I will double check Senator Vogel about what the level of operation is of the amenities at Vista del Sol. I do know across our residential halls that many of those amenities are available through a reservation process. And part of the reservation process is to be able to ensure either cleanliness or if there are concerns that we know who was in the space and when they were in the space. So I will follow up on that. But you are right. The pools outside of the SDFC and the SDFW pool is open just for lane swimming. So it's not play swimming. And again, that's a safety precaution. And so the pools in our residential halls are not designed for it to be just laps. And so that's another differentiating factor. So although it's the same amenity, it's not being used in the same way that it would be used if it was more of our recreational pools and so forth like that. So I can certainly find out about what the specific amenities are there and if they are in reservation or if they're completely closed or open at this time. But we did open a lot of our amenities based on a reservation process when we started the spring semester.
I do know that over at Vista, there is no reservation process. I double checked earlier today. I went in there and asked, so I wouldn't be saying anything that wasn't true. But
Perfect.
As it currently stands, there is no reservation process for any of the volleyball courts or the gym or the spaces in there. You can go in the space and study, but you can't use the ping pong tables or anything like that. So.
Okay, well, I appreciate that input and let me follow up and get back to you.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, and then I have Senator Onbar up next, and oh, someone else just raised their hand too. I think, oh wait, sorry, never mind. I was still seeing Senator Vogel's hand. So Senator Onbar, you are good to go.
Thank you, Senate President Hostel, and thank you, Dean Aska, for being here to answer our questions. I apologize in advance that this question might be a little bit vague because it's based on some comments from students that I received only today. But I've received word from several of my constituents that the industrial engineering and engineering management majors are set to be moved to Poly in the next year or so. This has caused a great deal of consternation for some folks because of the long commute time that this will result in. So I wanted to ask if you had any information about that or could shed any light on the university's decision-making process that kind of underlies that pretty massive change for those students.
Sure, Senator Onbar, thank you for sharing that. And ironically, I was copied on an email communication by a student who was expressing their concern because they had heard that that was also what was transpiring. I am following up to be better educated about what those plans are with my colleagues within the college and be happy to share that information back with you once I have that. I do understand that, anytime we do this, and for those of you, no, you wouldn't know, but I was part of the downtown ASU downtown opening, and that was back in 2006. And when the university made that transition, several colleges actually moved from the Tempe campus to go downtown. But part of that transition was a phased in transition. So current students didn't necessarily make that transition. They continued to take their courses where they were in Tempe, and then newer incoming classes, those classes got built on the downtown campus. So that's not to say that's exactly what's happening with the engineering program. I want to be able to have up-to-date and accurate information about what the plans are for that particular program, but I'm offering that to let you know that those things are taken into consideration when any shifts of programs may take place, because clearly our juniors and seniors have made decisions and that have been a part of their program at the Tempe campus. So I would probably err on the side that there's a likelihood that those students will not need to transition, that they'll be able to finish their program here. But I would like to get accurate information and confirming information to share that with you. If that was the case, Senator Onbar, understanding that students that are currently in the program will be able to finish out their program and it's a phased program, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would need to do more research as well, just because as I mentioned, I only heard about this from my constituents today, but my hope is that there would be some kind of phase in transition, as you mentioned. So I would definitely appreciate if you could get back to us about that.
Sure. I appreciate that. And so, if anything changes from what I've shared, like I said, I want to follow up with the college specifically and get that information for you all.
Thank you. That's appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then it looks like Senator Subbaraman has their hand raised, so you have the floor.
Dean Aska, on a very similar note, I know that in the College of Health Solutions, the biomedical informatics program is actually moving to the downtown campus from the Tempe campus. And while that doesn't affect current seniors, as most of our classes tend to be or will be either online because of thesis work and such, or on the Scottsdale Mayo campus, that doesn't affect the current rising seniors. However, it does affect the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors that currently exist. Is there some sort of transition that'll be allowed? From what I've heard from the current advisor of the major, we will be switching to the advisors on the downtown campus. But for individuals who have already been here on the Tempe campus, we have established a relationship with that advisor. And will there be any sort of transition period where we have the opportunity to contact both individuals, or what? Because it is very helpful when it comes to scheduling classes or getting some sort of guidance when it comes to our careers.
Sure. I think that's a great question. And I would ask the same thing to let me follow up and get some specific and up-to-date information about that particular program. And what I'm hearing you share as a particular possible concern is the consistency with academic advising and how that might be managed. So both understanding what the plans are for the program, but more specifically understanding access to advisors. So I hear you on both of those, and
thank you so much.
See what I can learn.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'll keep an eye out in my inbox for those follow-up emails, Naska. Thank you. I don't see any other senators' hands raised right now. And I know we've got about 5 minutes left. And Dean Aska, at the beginning, you had mentioned that you have 2 questions. So as long as there aren't any other senators who have a question, which I'm still not seeing a hand raised, but if Dean Aska, if you want to ask those, and then senators, you can answer that. And if anyone does end up having a question, still feel free to raise your hand. Then we've got a couple more minutes. So Dean Aska, if you want to pose those questions, and then we can get the senator's feedback.
Sure, I'm hoping to get some insight. So I'll just do one question for today. And that is, you know, COVID has really challenged us to think differently about how to engage and how to operate, how to build community, how to demonstrate affinity and connections. I don't want to be naive and say everything is going back to normal, right? In the fall semester, I think we all can agree with that. I think we're going to move forward with regards to continuing to manage the pandemic and make the best possible decisions. But it raises the question for me, for us to finish up this year with our current students, how do we build community? How have you all, in working with your constituents, been thinking about or even seeing or influencing the growth and the development of community?
So if any senators want to just chime in, you guys don't have to raise your hands, but if 2 people unmute themselves at the same time, we'll just figure out who wants to talk. So feel free to just unmute yourself and answer Dean Aska's question if you guys have any ideas.
Well, I would like to start by saying that I think socially distanced in-person events are probably preferable to masked events, or to online events. Obviously, we still need to wear masks. But I know my college, the College of Global Futures, has done a few events where they did yoga on the SDFC lawn. And everyone was kind of spaced out, and they had music playing, and they had a yoga instructor, and it was very relaxing. So I definitely recommend things like that, things that are both healthy and also fun, and also not virtual, because I think we all have had enough of sitting in front of our computers at our desks all day.
Thank you, Senator Mansfield. You know, even as you all as leaders, how are you envisioning fostering community through your leadership role?
Yeah. If anyone else wants to chime in, feel free to just do so.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but in-person events are the best way to go. Seeing how CIS has done an in-person event, we were able to max out the CDC guidelines, and you know, we had more people saying, "Oh, can we come in?" You know, we did the reservation just today, and you know, having to them like wait, but they always come and ask like, "When's the next event? When's the next event?" And so, you know, seeing that really built some hope to be like, okay, so in-person events are really important and the way to go.
You could be a broken record, because I think that's helpful to know combination of what your constituents want and what's working from you all's perspectives as leaders within your colleges.
If anyone has insight from other organizations, I know Senator Aguilar just mentioned CIS, so I don't know if any of you guys are in other organizations, but it could be helpful to also share how your organizations are working on organizational engagement right now to help answer the question.
I was going to say this might not be as positive as you want, but it's actually been really difficult to actually have community engagement. It's been like a mix of all the things I'm involved in. For instance, one of my sustainability clubs held an in-person event, 2 people came. It was really disappointing because we have like 60 people in our club. My sorority tried to do like in-person events that are kind of transitioning to it. That's been more successful because you do it in like a lot smaller groups, and we do it in like outside engagements, like going to museums and social distancing and trying to think outside the box. So it's been like an array of things. But I think personally for me, my community comes from like my roommates since I live with them. That's like the only people I really interact with. And luckily enough, like we're all like in the same sorority. We all get along really well. And so that's just how it is. But it's been really difficult trying to like meet new people, do new things. And I know that's not probably what you want to hear, but
no, there's no right answer. There's no right answer. I think the value of hearing this and hearing, each of you kind of share, as student government leaders, as part of what you're here to do, right? To foster that sense of community amongst your peers and amongst your constituents. So, we're thinking about this, we know you're thinking about this. So I think the shared exchange in information and context and not assuming what worked last month is working this month or what worked last semester is working now. I think this is where the dialogue is healthy to know how your constituents are thinking about this and how you all are thinking about this to be able to lead and influence as well. So this is helpful.
Yeah. I'd like to share a little bit from an organization I'm a part of. It's the Next Generation Service Corps here at ASU. It's through the Watts College, and one thing that we've had a significant amount of success on this past academic year through Zoom, since we haven't been able to hold in-person events, has been to host multiple like small calls, like maybe 30 to 45-minute tea times where students can come together and simply grab a cup of coffee and talk about like a recent event. We have events that are planned around like Women's History Month, for instance. This semester we have a few events that are going on. And last semester what we saw quite a lot of engagement on was social events that allowed students to come together, play Jeopardy, do activities together, but events that were produced with high quality. So we had a team of people who they were running vMix in the background, and they had transitions and pre-done videos. And we saw a lot of students become excited to join those events because they wanted to see what the latest theme was. They wanted to see like how we would produce these things. So I would say highly produced online events are pretty successful. At least they have been successful in the Service Corps. And the second thing that we've had a lot of success on is virtual service projects, especially this semester. Since the entire program is distributed across the country, we have some people like across the world. We've had like cleanup park days where students go to a physical park, and then we actually have some people calling in on a Zoom call or on FaceTime, and they kind of just collaborate, talk together about like, hey, what if we do this? It's like a half in person, half online situation. That's seen quite a lot of success as well. So although, again, I would say that in-person events are really nice and they're really helpful, just due to the fact that there are a significant number of students who aren't in state, I think highly produced online events with a theme that students can look forward to, and like semi-virtual, semi-in-person events that students can collaborate on might be good ways to connect with students, at least until the end of the semester.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that input and insight. The high quality piece is critical because, even for the fall semester, as we think about bringing students together, I think large scale ones, for the size of our institution, we still need to think strategically and intentionally about COVID guidelines. So that's helpful. So thank you. All right, that's it.
Awesome. Well, if anyone does come up with anything that they want to share with Dean Aska, just let me know and I'll forward that information along. And then whenever Dean Aska gets back, I know you'll have to talk to the colleges and some of like residential folks regarding some of the questions we talked about. And then I will forward you guys Dean Aska's responses. But thank you so much for attending today. And thank you guys so much for asking insightful questions and providing really helpful information. That was awesome. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night, Dean Aska.
To go pet the dogs tomorrow for those of you who are in town, okay? We'll
yes, yeah, I shared the flyer you sent me, so.
All right, take care, bye-bye.
Awesome. Let's see what's up next on the agenda. It is a quick call to the audience. So if anyone in the audience would like to address the Senate, feel free to raise your hand and we can ask you to unmute. I'll give you guys about 10-20 seconds to do so if you want. And then if no one raises their hand, we will move on to our officer and administrative reports. All right. Not seeing any hand raises, but if anything comes up later, we can potentially yield some time over at the end. We will dispense with the call to the audience, and we'll move into officer and administrative reports, starting with yours truly. Nothing too crazy that I haven't already informed you guys of. So for the sake of not being super redundant, the main things that we have that I've got going on is we filled almost every single vacancy. CISA still has a vacancy. I don't know if that one will ever not have a vacancy. We're working on it. I know we've got our last new confirmation bill on the floor today. Super exciting. And then otherwise, I don't have too much that's been going on my end that you guys aren't already aware of. I'm helping out with a lot of your guys' projects and things that you guys sent me. But if anyone does have anything that they want to work on that's not already being worked on or has anything that they'd like me to help with, just shoot me a message. I am absolutely here as a resource to help you guys. You guys have been doing amazing work so far, and I know there's a lot of things that you guys are currently working on. So I'll save most of that for the committee updates though. But with that said, I don't really have much else. Just that we only have actually two more Senate meetings of this year. We have the upcoming one on March 21st. What day will that be? Not 21st, it's way too far out, March 16th. And then we have another one in April. So super exciting. And then remember that we do have the USG spring break coming up. So that'll be from March 7th through the 13th. So just another reminder, I know that we've talked about this before, but just remember that you won't be expected to do office hours that week, nor submit a Senate report. If you'd like to do work, I will be available if anyone wants to work or wants to meet with me or anything like that. But you are not expected to. And then just another reminder, chairs, make sure that if you have anything that you need your committee to be working on, that we try to schedule it for either before or after that time, unless you've talked with your committees and agreed to do work in advance. But otherwise, hopefully that will be a nice little break for you guys, since we don't have our own official spring break. This is the best we can do, at least organizationally. So hopefully that'll help. And it's coming up soon, which will be very nice, because at least for me, it's lining up with my next set of exams. So instead of doing USG, I will be studying profusely. But yeah, that is all I have. So I will stop talking because I don't have anything else particularly relevant to say at this moment. And we will go into President Palmer's updates.
Thank you, Kate. Hi, everyone. Happy Her Story Month. I don't have very much. I didn't send you a budget report this week because the business office is busy doing reconciliation, so they don't have an updated copy from the last time I sent you one. So if you have any questions about the budget, just reach out to me, but I don't have an updated copy. Elizabeth is out for the week, so if you need anything, you need to push forward any initiatives or arrange any meetings, just reach out to me. And then, as I promised I would do, I have a bookstore update. So as of the 24th of February, because this was the last time I got an update, there have been 7 applicants, 13 qualified, 3 were graduate students. That's why they didn't get it. And then 1, it would just mess with their financial aid, unfortunately. So that was just in the first week. There's been a week since then. So I'm sure there's been even more applicants, which is really exciting that there's been a turnout already. And then those of you who worked on the counseling extension letter, you should be getting an email back from me. I finally got all the feedback from COP, so I'll be reaching out to you very shortly. But that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. And then Vice President Papadilla, if you want to give us your update.
All right. Hi, everyone. I don't have too many updates, but happy Women's History Month. We'll be having the Women in Leadership Dinner likely on March 26th, with more information to come, of course, once we've got that completely confirmed. We'll also be having an event called Elect Her, which will be similar to the Women in Leadership Dinner, just again, like emphasizing that women should go into different leadership positions, whether that be in elected office or in student government elected offices. Besides that, I don't have too many updates for this month. We'll be having various town halls with different elected officials, and I'll send you those dates when they come. But yeah, if anyone has any questions or concerns, please reach out.
Awesome. And then Vice President Freed.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a great Tuesday here. I know I am. So just not too many updates, but some important changes to our regularly scheduled programs. Wellness Wednesday is going to move from 10 to 11 in the morning to 3 to 4 in the afternoon on Wednesdays. And we have also partnered with the SDFC Health and Wellness Committee, which is basically just a group of students that have an agenda with the SDFC. And so we'll be going off of their health and wellness agenda, and they're going to provide us with a bunch of good stuff. So we're really excited about that. There's going to be another blood drive on March 29th. So because there is a blood shortage right now in America. So we are planning as many of those as we possibly can to be able to help with that. And then also we are having a talent show that's coming up, and it'll all be online via Instagram. So the submission for that will come out on March 14th. Just keep an eye out for our Instagram posts on that because there'll be some information coming out. So if any of you want to showcase your talents, you definitely can. Other than that, safety escort's running smoothly, and so is bike co-op. And if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And next up, we will move into our standing committee reports. So we'll begin with our appropriations team. So Senator Anbar and Senator Vakala, or both of you, if you guys have updates, please do share.
Not too many updates to report. We're just finishing up the budgets from general funding, and we're probably going to be reopening the application portal just for a couple of days to allow some clubs to make revisions. But other than that, we're kind of looking onward towards the event funding deadline, which, as we've said before, but we'll say it again, is March 19th. So if you're involved in any student orgs, know anybody in student orgs, let them know that that is the final date for applying for event funding, and make sure that they get their applications in before then.
Awesome. Senator Vakala, do you want to add anything, or was that perfect? Awesome. Up next then is our finance chair, Senator Hollingsworth.
Yeah, not too many updates from us either now that the summits are over. So right now the main focus is just the professional development grant and getting the word out for that. I submitted forms to get it out in the like newsletters on campus through the Carey connection through WP Carey, but then also through like the student org newsletters. So hopefully that will get the word out a little bit more. We're doing pretty good as far as applications go in comparison to last semester. The applications that we've gotten so far this semester are almost as much as the entirety of last semester. So keep letting students know that we have money to offer for any professional development opportunities. And if you have any questions or they have any questions, you could just refer them to me.
Awesome. Up next is government operations. So Senator Decker.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good night. A majority of our update will come in the form of 2 pieces of legislation later this afternoon. As you've seen in the Slack, Senator Huerta crafted a nice bylaw amendment bill, and then we have another confirmation bill on the floor tonight. That's mostly what we've been working on. Other than that, the bylaws in brief project is being moved along quite nicely. So shout out to Senator Mansfield for that. And then I just want to give a huge shout out to my committee. They've been working really hard. So thank you everybody for doing so.
Awesome. And then University Affairs Chair Senator Saidu.
Hello, everyone. I don't really have any new updates since our last meeting. Everything's just been like a waiting process. But just a reminder, we do have a meeting to talk about the trash can legislation that was passed last semester. So it's going to be Accessibility Coalition and Rainbow Coalition. It's going to be there to discuss that. We do have another meeting with Dr. Krasnow from Psychiatry and Counseling, and we are hoping to hear back from the COP about that letter advocating for free counseling services. And then in terms of the town hall that we had been planning, we did decide not to do that anymore because Airmark wasn't responding to us. At first, they were okay to do it, but then once we started asking them to invite a corporate member, they kind of backed away or they weren't responding as quickly. So we're no longer doing that town hall. Instead, we're working on different strategies that we could take. And then finally, we're still preparing the spotlight post for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which will be in April. Right now, we're discussing the possibility or probability of having survivor spotlights and how triggering that would be, whether or not it would be okay to do. So we're still talking about that. Once we get an official update, I will update you guys. Other than that, those are all our updates from University Affairs.
Awesome. All right, and then let's move into if anyone has any Council of Coalition or Sun Devil Leadership Council partner updates, feel free to unmute yourselves. I know that Women's Coalition's been working really hard on Women's History Month as like one of the main things, and we just concluded Black History Month with the BAC. But those are what I could just think of off the top of my head. I'm not one of the partners, so if one of the partners wants to share anything, feel free to just unmute yourselves, and then once everyone's gone, we will move into new business.
Just a quick update from the Women's Coalition. So happy Women's Her Story Month. If you're interested in attending any of the in-person or virtual events, you can find them on Sun Devil Sync as well as the Instagram. And then they'll also be tabling every Monday alongside Maroon Monday. So you can go grab some goodies and just say hello.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any updates that they want to share right now? If not, you guys can always send event information and things in the Slack and share with everyone. I'm sure people would like to hear. Okay. Not seeing any other updates, but if I'm missing someone, please just send like a flyer in the Slack or anything that people are working on. We would love to hear more. So we will move in now to new business. So we've got those two bills that Senator Decker mentioned a little bit earlier. So we'll begin with SB 36, which is an act to confirm a newly appointed senator to the 18th legislature. So if the author of the bill would like to screen share that, we can get started on the reading and then discussion and then voting on that bill.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. We've done this a couple times so far this semester. It's pretty standard, pretty protocol at this point. I'll just go ahead and read the bill. Yeah, whereas the student body of Arizona State University's Tempe campus has duly elected or appointed their student representatives to the undergraduate student government in Tempe during, that's not grammatically correct, for the 18th legislature. Cognizant of the power of the Senate President and respective college councils to make appointments as outlined in Title IV, Article 1, Section 2 of the USG Tempe bylaws, further cognizant of the power of the Senate to confirm all appointments by a 2/3 vote as outlined in Title IV, Article 8, Section 6 of the USG Tempe bylaws, and further recognizing that the College Student Council has duly appointed Yash Raka as a student of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, therefore be enacted by us the 2020 and 2021 undergraduate student government Tempe Senate to confirm Yash Raka as the newly appointed senator for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences for this 18th legislature. I guess I'm available for any questions. Otherwise, I hope you guys support this nomination.
Awesome. Is there any discussion or motions? If so, please raise your hand and I will give you the floor. All right, Senator Mansfield, I see you have your hand raised. You have the floor.
I motion to vote by acclamation.
All right, Senator Mansfield is motioning to vote by acclamation. Are there any seconds or objections? Feel free to just unmute yourself.
I second.
All right, hearing a couple of seconds, then and no objections, then this confirmation bill will go through by acclamation, which is very exciting. So super fun. Claps are nowhere near as exciting as they used to be when you could actually hear them. But very exciting. So thank you so much. We're very excited to have you. Yash, although I guess you're senator now, which is super fun. So what we'll do, and this is endlessly awkward. It's been awkward both times that I've tried to do this. And I don't know if it'll get any better because we're online. We have to swear you in. So do you want to, I guess it's just you. Oh, since it's one person, we can do this with your mic on. When we had a couple of folks, we had, the overlap of people talking. So what you want to do, if you can just unmute yourself and then raise your right hand while I give you the oath, and then you'll just be after me. Perfect. Okay, so I, insert name here.
I, Yaka,
pledge myself to uphold the Constitution
pledge myself to uphold the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Arizona State University
of the Associated Students of Arizona State University
and the undergraduate bylaws,
and the undergraduate bylaws,
and to serve the student body to the best of my ability,
and to serve the student body to the best of my ability,
by applying my skills, my time, and my initiative.
by applying my skills, my time, and my initiative.
So help me.
So help me.
Well, you are officially sworn in. Super exciting. I know we've already got you assigned to a committee since you were already working with the University Affairs group. Very exciting. And you will be able to vote on the next bill.
Thank you.
You got that little fist bump, yeah. Super fun. So what we'll do now is we will move into the next item of business, which is SB 37, an act to amend the undergraduate student government Tempe impeachment bylaws. So if the author of the bill would like to do the same and share their screen, explain the bill, and then we'll move into discussion and subsequently voting.
Yeah, appreciate that. So I'll just begin just going through the bill language just so you see where my reasonings or my logic for implementing this bylaw comes from. So this is Senate Bill 37, Act to amend the USG Tempe impeachment bylaws. Whereas the undergraduate student government of Tempe was created to provide a unified forum for inter-university dialogue, to organize student involvement, and to advocate for and administer services, resources, and programs that benefit the students of Arizona State University. Whereas Title IV, Article 10 of the Undergraduate Student Government Tempe bylaws establishes current procedural requirements for the impeachment or censure of elected or appointed members of the body. Pursuant to the decision of Boyd v. USG-D, in which the ASASU University Supreme Court ruled that closed caucus meetings or closed meetings of any kind of the legislative body with the intention of discussing business are unconstitutional. Whereas Article 2, Section 2 of the USG Constitution states that all members of USG shall be granted the right to open USG meetings, documents, and procedures. Whereas Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution of the USG defines members of USG as all registered undergraduate students with a minimum of 1 credit hour as entitled to vote, to hold office in USG if qualifications of candidacy are met, and to exercise the rights of their membership. Whereas a former USG Tempe impeachment trial resulted in a lawsuit filed with the Supreme Court of the ASASU of Arizona State University questioning this constitutionality of executive sessions after a former Senate president deemed the impeachment trial an executive session. Therefore, it be resolved by us, the USG Tempe Senate, that Title IV, Article 10 of the Undergraduate Student Government Tempe bylaws is amended to read. I'm not going to read all of our current bylaws, but I will just go through the new language that I added here. And that any USG-T Senate meetings in which impeachment proceedings or hearings are to be discussed shall be open for the public student body to attend, subject to the following. The Office of the Dean of Students of the ASU Tempe campus may ultimately decide that these meetings shall not be public, therefore moving them to executive session, or subject to the member in which an article of impeachment or articles of impeachment have been introduced towards may request that meeting be closed to the public and be held in executive session unless otherwise ruled by the Office of Dean of Students. This request shall be granted upon a majority vote of senators present. Essentially, this is just a transparency bill. There have been some incongruencies between our bylaws and our Constitution, and our Constitution offers us the right to, amend these things. I believe our Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, allows us to grant all members of USG the rights, being further delineated by respective campus bylaws. This is just that delineation. Just to ensure that our impeachment proceedings are transparent, because there have been past instances where that hasn't been the case, where there have been lawsuits filed because that wasn't the case. But of course, also respecting the due process and the rights of the accused if they so wish to move into an executive session, if they don't want their trial or hearing to be presented to the public, if there's some more sensitive information that it may involve, we can leave that up to either the Dean of Students, because I mean, they have authority over us, first of all. And we can also leave up to the authority of the senators in case they feel as if this, out of respect for the accused or that who has been brought articles of impeachment, just to help ensure their privacy. And yeah, that's pretty much a bulk of the bill. And with that, I'm available for any questions if there are any questions to be had.
All right. Does anyone have, with the discussion period being open, if anyone who wants the floor could raise their hand or wants to make a motion, could do that, that would be awesome. And then I will give you the floor. Not seeing any hand raises yet, but I do want to make sure that I'm letting everyone talk if they want to add anything. But if I don't see any hand raises soon, we'll just move into voting if there's no discussion. All right, well, it doesn't look like there's going to be any discussion. Does anyone have any motions related to the vote of this bill?
I motion to vote by acclamation again.
All right, Senator Mansfield has motioned to vote by acclamation. Is there any seconds or objections? Feel free to just unmute yourself.
Second.
All right, a second from Senator Vakala. Not seeing any objections yet. Okie doke. It looks like there are no objections to the motion to vote by acclamation. So this bill also goes through by acclamation. Well, with that, wow, it's gotten very dark in my room. I should have turned on one of the lights. I look, yeah, Kelly gets it. Sometimes I just forget. Yeah, I should have turned my light on. But in the dark with all my little Senate friends. But with that, that is all of our new business, and we don't have any old business or anything to move into open forum / announcements. Jyoti and I were wondering if, in specific, if anyone did have any college council updates. We know that college council elections are rolling around for a lot of folks. So we're hoping that if anyone does have anything that they've related to their college council, if they can share it. And if you don't know it, like have anything now, if you have anything later, just send it in the Senate chat. But obviously open forum is not limited to that, so you can share whatever you'd like. But if you do have any updates on that front, we'd love to hear it. So if anyone does have anything that they want to share, if you could just raise your hand and I'll give you the floor. All right, I see Senator Huerta and Senator Goldschmidt already, so we'll start with them, and then if anyone else has anything, just feel free to raise your hand. So Senator Huerta, you are good to share us with whatever you'd like to share.
Yeah, I can just share a little bit about Barrett Honors College Council / BHCC elections. The intent to run forms are open now. They're accepting applications for a variety of positions. The deadline for the intent to run form is March 7th, so there's about 4 or 5 days left. I'm bad at math, to submit one if any attendees are interested in running, or if there are any senators also currently enrolled in Barrett who would like to join the council. I've been on the council before. It's a great experience, a lot of fun, great group of people that you work with. More information can be found at the BHCC Instagram, which is very simply bhcc.asu, and I'd also be available for any other questions. And with that, I yield my time.
Awesome. And then Senator Goldschmidt, and then afterwards, Senator Hollingsworth.
Yeah, so the WP Carey Business School Council just gave $7,500 in operations funding to the WP Carey business orgs. They are setting up for the TEATS Award, which is a award for undergraduate WP Carey undergraduate WP Carey professors and grad students. That is, I think, roughly $6,500 through like a nomination process. And then they're working to make their annual spring banquet a hybrid event on April 20th. Yeah, I think that's everything for the Business School Council.
Awesome. And then Senator Hollingsworth, and after that, Senator Vicala.
Yeah, mine's less of college council since Senator Goldschmidt just covered that. I just wanted to talk about the professional development funding and ask you guys if you are able to reach out to your college councils if you're in some type of close communication with them. Like I mentioned earlier in my report, I had the professional development funding be put out in the Carey Connection. So if your college councils have any similar newsletters, that we would be able to advertise this to your constituents. If you could either ask your advisor or maybe put me in contact with them, that way we can get it in newsletters all across campus and not just WP Carey, because the application does close 1 month from today. So we're running out of time and I wanna make sure as much money as possible is used. So whatever you can do to connect with your college councils to kind of spread the word, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and Senator Hollingsworth, if you want to drop any sort of graphic or little informational blurb that they can share in the Senate Slack, that would probably be helpful too.
Okay, I'll do it in the Slack tonight.
Yeah, just because sometimes providing the materials already will help incentivize people to share them. And then we've got Senator Vicala and Senator Brown.
Just an update, just going off what Senator Mansfield said, the College of Global Future, since our schools are combined together, it's a whole transition thing. We've been kind of successful in that, but we did a yoga event and we're having another in-person event later in March. But like every month, or I think almost every week, we do meet with the dean. So that's been pretty good. Students have been kind of talking to deans. Just wanted to get an update to you all about our transition to the being one College of Global Futures. So it's good. And then I also have one question. I don't know if you can answer this for me, Kate, but when will the seniors be getting their stoles?
Ooh, Jacqueline, do you know this?
Yeah, we have them in the office. We don't have a specific date. If you just want to come in and get it, you can. I'm sure Trey's going to send out an email detailing how to put your contact information in it if you need it to be shipped to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then Senator Brown and then Senator Huerta.
Hello all. So right now our college council, or Herberger's College Council, is struggling a little bit with keeping members and is dealing with a little bit of inactivity. So right now the meetings have just been about like 10 to 15 minute updates. Right now they are working on recruiting more executive boards and reps for Herberger. I know that they are struggling with student engagement, mainly just because of the way that Herberger classes are set up. The program is very time intensive as far as the time that students are in classes. And each of the schools within Herberger kind of have class blocks right now that don't allow for an equal amount of participation amongst all Herberger students. So they're working on that. And then I know that the advisor, as well as Herberger's director of student engagement, are working on potentially having the college council be stipend positions to see if that will help kind of retain and also recruit members for our college council. So that's all.
Awesome. And then Senator Huerta.
Yeah, hi, me again. Just wanted to touch upon something that was brought up earlier during the Q&A with Dean Aska. In response to Senator Vogel's inquiry about, Vista amenities, the pool, the community center, all that stuff being closed. As both a Barrett Senator and a CA at Vista del Sol, I can speak a little bit to the fact that we have been looking at things, looking at the reopening process, and if Senator Vogel wanted to connect at a later time or just DM me over Slack, I do know a CA who is taking a lead on looking at the reopening process for our amenities, and I can definitely provide him with those contacts. And yeah, with that, I yield my time.
Awesome. I see a little thumbs up from Senator Vogel. Cool. I don't see any other hand raises right now. But obviously, if anything comes up, you guys can always Slack me, Slack the channel, whatever you guys want. So yeah, that is all we have for today. So as long as there's nothing else, we can move into our second roll call and then get you guys out of here a little early. Very nice. So that you can eat or study or I don't know, whatever y'all want to do it for Tuesday. So Jyoti, if you want to move into roll call.
Yeah, sure. So first I'll start off with Senator Decker.
Here.
Senator Mina.
Here.
Senator Aguilar. Senator Huerta.
Here.
Senator Tinti.
Here.
Senator Anbar.
Present.
Senator Rethel.
In attendance.
Senator Parde.
Here.
Senator Ibanez. Senator Vakala.
Here.
Senator Hauk.
Here.
Senator Hollingsworth.
Here.
Senator Goldschmidt.
Here.
Senator Ibarra.
Here.
Senator Isais.
Here.
Senator Saidu.
Here.
Senator Raka.
Here.
Senator Lopez.
Here.
Senator Mansfield.
Here.
Senator Subramanian.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Here.
And Senator Vogel.
Here.
Okay, thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, that is all we have for today. So unless anyone wants me to go find Lugnut and bring him on camera, you guys are good to go. If anyone who doesn't know, Lugnut's my cat that I don't stop talking about. We adopted him like 4 months ago, and ever since, it's just the only thing on my mind. Senator Brown, I see you have your hand raised.
I request that be brought in front of the camera.
Lugnut has been summoned. Everyone is totally fine to go if they don't want to wait for a Lugnut. If you want to stay. But Senator Brown, in return, I ask that you show us your dog.
I also request that Cassie be shown as well.
Oh, I'll have to find her. I think my mom's making dinner, which means that Cassie is wherever the food is. Let me find where this goof is hiding. Where is he? Come here, Bubby. Oh, there he is. Okay, wait. Gotta set you guys down really quick. All right. Here's the goob. He's very long.